Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to the Transit. So in this video I'm going to be covering installing a reversing camera to the van. As somebody who's never really had a van before, especially one with a solid bulkhead behind me, I kind of found it really weird that, you know, I couldn't just look up there for a mirror when I was reversing. And I've got really good blind spot mirrors on this and everything, you know, I've got really good mirrors, but there's still that, you know, when you're reversing into a bay in like a parking space or something like that, am I going to hit the car behind me, you know? So I just thought for the 30 quid that it costs from Amazon for a reversing camera, I might as well put one on the van. So I have already fitted it, but in the video last week, I mentioned that it was already in there, and in the comments I mentioned that I could do kind of a retro, what I learned whilst I was fitting this. And I think somebody said, yeah, actually, I'd watch that. So what the hell, you know, if this is helpful to somebody, especially if it's sort of like if you've got one of these little Connects and you're going to put one of these cameras in, there are a few sort of tips and tricks I found out along the way, especially wire colors and stuff like that. You know, that's quite helpful to know, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk you through installing the camera almost front to back. So as you can see, I've put my monitor here, and the reason for that was it was almost like a natural choice. There's no rear view mirror for obvious reasons because there's no rear view. So it made absolute sense to put this where the rear view mirror would be. Also, I think if you get a particularly arsey MOT guy on a bad day, they do like to, I think, pull things off the screen if they consider them to be in the swept area or obstructing view or something like that. Well, surely they can't complain about that because that's just where the mirror would be. One of the considerations when running your cable is you're going to get probably a lot of slack in the cable that comes with your camera kit. Now, I made the mistake of when I first ran the cable, I brought all the slack to the front with me. And I just thought I'd tuck it up in the headlining or something. Don't do that. There really isn't the room to do it. You're much better to loosely install the cable and then put the slack at the back, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, when you're choosing your camera location, I think the boxes that you want to tick are, because it's a reversing camera, you want it kind of central to the van. You want it somewhere it's not going to get too covered in crap. And you also probably want it somewhere where running the cable is going to be quite easy. I picked this little flat area just to the right of the number plate at the back here. That little square there is almost the perfect size for the mounting plate on the camera. I just used the self-adhesive mount. There's no screws or anything going on there like that there. Now, the only thing about putting a camera here is, of course, you're going to have to take the cable in through the back door. So what I've done is I've just drilled a small hole beneath it and I've used a grommet in there. Let me show you that. So basically I've just drilled a hole directly, almost directly beneath the camera. As soon as you get that hole drilled in the back there, go at it with some primer and paint. I just used Halford's touch-up pens. Because you really don't want it rusting. I've also used kind of a standard sealed grommet in there as well, just to give it a little bit of weatherproofing. I buy those grommets off of Amazon actually, in a kit. I'll show you what it looks like, and they're really handy to have around just for jobs like this. And I think if nothing else, you know, one, that gives you a bit of weatherproofing. It kind of seals around the hole as well because you've got the paint in there as well, so you've got it nicely sealed. Hopefully you're not going to get any corrosion on there, but also you've got that grommet just keeping the water out. What I am going to do when I can find it is I've got a little tube of black silicone, and I'm just going to run some black silicone into the little middle of the grommet there. I mean, it is effectively sealed, but I'm going to run some black silicone in there just for belt and braces. So this to me does feel like the kind of natural position for a reversing camera. You could, I guess, put it up high, looking down, fine. I think you might give yourself a harder life running your cable if you did that. But here it's just about the right height. and the cabling is fairly easy. Now, one of the mistakes I made when I first installed the camera was I had it looking straight back. It's absolutely no use to you if you do that. You do want to angle it down a little bit. And the reason for that is you really want to see the bumper of the car behind you, or if you're reversing into a bay, you want to see the line on the road or something like that. So just sort of angle it down a little bit, not straight back. It's a reversing camera. It's not a rear view camera. So the camera is now effectively almost right behind this panel. So in terms of once you start your cabling job, all you've got to do is, now your van might be different to mine. I think these are the factory standard little hardboard panels on here still, but obviously somebody might have already racked yours or put plywood over it, so that might make getting to the inside of this door just a little bit harder. But I was almost spoilt here a little bit. Just pull these push nails out. Right, okay. And let's have a look in the door. So you've got a ton of space inside the door here. If you look down, I'll just get a light. If you look down there, you can probably just see the grommet with the cable coming through from the camera. Now, one of the things I was mentioning about the cabling at the front is to make sure that you've got the slack at the back. And one of the reasons for that is you've got the ideal opportunity to hide it in here. The door on mine came just with this little bracket, which rather conveniently took one of the, I think they're Lidl's push fastening cable tie things. So basically all I've done is I've brought my slack to the back, looped it all up in there, put it in one of those cable ties, and it can sit there nice and firmly. I have opted to use the reversing function. So basically what I've done is I've wired my camera in to the reversing lights so that when I select reverse, reversing lights come on and that powers the camera up. Now in this particular kit, and I guess this isn't too far different to most kits, you get this little filter sort of relay box. That's got enough cable on it to get inside the van where you're going to hook it up to the lights. And all I did, just to keep it safe, was a bit of double-sided tape and stuck it to the inside of the door there. So as you can see, with that all installed in the door, that's nice and neat, and like I say, plenty of space to hide cables and stuff in there. And do it safely as well if you put one of those little clips around them. If you haven't got any of those clips that go through, you could even just stick, I guess, a cable tie through one of the holes in this little bracket here. So bringing the cable into the van isn't that hard at all. Basically you can run it inside the door up to this little flexible conduit here. These things just keep your fingers in the top and they pull out. And then if you fold the door all the way back, you can get that conduit nice and straight. Just use a little cable rod or anything to run the cable through, and it will go through a treat. And then when you're done, just make sure you clip these things back in. So if, like me, you're going to be wiring these into the reversing lights, your wiring connection will happen inside this panel at the back. And let me show you where the loom is and what I did with it. So the wiring loom I picked up on is right at the top inside this, this access panel here. The wire that you're looking for is a blue and white wire, as defined by the dodgy eBay version of the workshop manual I got for this. But that did in fact prove correct. What I did was used a little cable piercing tester just to prove it. So basically put your tester on there, put the cable piercer on there, pierce the blue and white cable, went to the front of the van, select reverse. Do I get voltage? Yes. Deselect reverse. Do that a couple of times just to make sure that you haven't got a false positive, and that's great. So basically I've wired in to the blue and white cable there. If your kit came with the sort of like Scotch lock type connectors that are so popular with a lot of these aftermarket kits that come on Amazon. Just don't. Strip your wire back and solder it in. Let me show you kind of my technique for that. Let's say that this is your harness and you want to connect a wire into it. You're much better to kind of partially strip this wire, get yourself a sharp knife and just cut round all the way around the insulation, just in a couple of places. Using a proper cable knife here. There is no substitute. Okay, so you then basically just have to very carefully just remove this outer layer of insulation. This is where having a really sharp knife is invaluable. Okay, so just going to take that back to there. Okay, so now what I've got is a really good length of copper. I then take the cable that I want to join onto it and I'm going to wrap it around a few times. Okay, so I'm just going to let my soldering iron come up to temperature. Okay, so with your iron up to temperature, just tin it, and then it's a case of get some heat into that cable, and ideally what you'll be doing is melting the solder into the cable. So you want to get the cable nice and hot. Just going to take that all along that joint. Right, and once your joint is nice and cool, cut yourself a little bit of self-amalgamating tape. Absolutely love this stuff. And then what you want to do is just wrap it. And this stuff will do exactly as the name suggests. It'll turn into a self-amalgamated coating. So there you go, that's the finished article, and that to me is the only way to splice one wire into another on your vehicle. And it is certainly a neater job and longer lasting and potentially less problematic in the long run than one of those monstrosities on there. So there's only one place for those things, and that's in the bin. In my opinion, if you're going to splice anything into your loom, do it like this. Don't do it like that. Now, with that connection made there, you can see that you can do that quite neatly. And then you can get the whole loom pushed back, and it doesn't look factory, but it doesn't look too far off. And the great thing about making your connection to the blue and white wire here rather than at the light unit or somewhere like that is you've got an earth point right here. So all I've done is I've taken the neutral down into this little crimp-on spade connector there, and basically I have crimped and soldered it into that connector, belt and braces, and as you can see there's a bit more self-amalgamating tape around that just for good measure. I was going to use some heat shrink, but I didn't really have any heat shrink that small, and then it's onto that earth connection. So there are all your electrical connections. So with your camera mounted, your cable inside the van, your electrical connections made, you've then just got to get the monitor cable from the back of the van here to the front, running up inside this pillar, no problems at all. You can run the cable up in there quite easily and put it out the top. I thought it would be really easy to get it sort of like from the back of the van to the front, because you've got lots of lovely box sections here that you can run inside. Now, I imagined it was going to be really easy to get it through these box sections. Wrong. I managed to get a cable rod from the front of the van almost back to here. I could see it just through this little gap up in here, but you just can't get in through here to grab it and then sort of like, you know, bring your cable around. And also, you know, I was running a fiberglass cable rod through there, and I could just feel it getting damaged. I could feel it hitting sharp edges, and I thought, if it feels like it's damaging a fiberglass cable rod, what's it going to do to a little 3mm cable pulling through there? So I gave up on that and took path of least resistance. What I've used is these little stick-on 3M cable clips that stick to the paint. Rub it down with some rubbing alcohol, and they will be on there forever if you want them. So basically, I've taken the cable just through here. I've routed it over a cross brace there. So I've brought it over the cross brace here, which was easy enough, and then sort of done a 90 just into this bit of box section here. Really easy to get it into this box section just with, again, with a cable rod and pull it through. Now, the cable then, you can get it right up as far as the bulkhead. So once you've got the cable as far as the cab, you're kind of spoilt for choice here. Now, I did consider getting a cable rod and taking the cable straight across the headlining and down to the camera. Don't bother. If you can sort of fiddle it in around the back of the headliner here and the bulkhead, just tuck it into the top of that pillar trim there. And then these door trims are fantastic. They've got a lot of space in them to run cables into. So basically, you know, just get yourself a trim tool and run your cable in to that door trim there, and it will tuck away really neatly. You can follow that right round to the front here, tuck it round inside this little pillar at the front here that I think, does that house an airbag? I don't think it does. And then basically up inside the front of the headlining and across to the camera. So once you've got it here, it's a piece of cake to get that cable across to the camera. So there you go, YouTube. That's what I learned about fitting a reversing camera to a 2015 Ford Transit Connect. It's not a hard job. In fact, if I hadn't faffed around trying to route that cable through that box section, I'd literally probably lost 2 hours doing that. I'd have probably had it done in an hour or so. So it's a real nice, easy little job, and it's a real value add. I think, you know, however experienced you are with a van, having that view out the rear as you reverse can only be a bonus. And like I say, these things, they're like 30 quid from Amazon. So there you go. I don't know if that was useful, but I hope that was useful. Next job I'm going to do on the van, like I say, is continue the rust proofing underneath. I've just got little spots of rust forming on the rear wheel arches, and I want to get to them now because they are proper surface rust. They are rust in its infancy. As I said last week, they're rust, whereas if I leave them, they'll become rust. So I want to get to those early. I'm going to properly protect the wheel arches. I'm not going to do one of these, you know, car show worthy, body colour matched and what have you. I'm going to put some proper rust protecting paint over the top of them after I've treated the rust. And of course I've got the Tetrasil to spray under the van. But as you might be able to hear, it's really windy today. So I don't want to be under there spraying that stuff around. But tomorrow I am going to do an oil change. So if I can get myself organised enough, I'll take a camera under with me and cover the oil change. Because funnily enough, there's only a couple of videos I can find on servicing one of these things. So that might be helpful. Anyway, if you've got this far into the video, you have my thanks and admiration. And I'll keep on churning these out. If there's any other, if you've got one of these and you're doing any other little jobs to it, or you know, there's anything particularly you'd like to see, just drop it in the comments, because you never know, I might be doing that, and if I am, I'll certainly make a video if it's helpful to people. Thanks for watching, YouTube.